Benenden is a school with a lot of history. Many pupils have eaten barbecues in the Rose Garden over the last 300 years. Many girls have played volleyball on the volleyball courts, and an awful lot of schnitzel has been eaten in the dining room. If you listen closely, you can still hear the echoes of happiness and of laughter outside the buildings at night, and the crunch of footprints on the gravel in front of the main house. Do you know the one I mean? Hempstead, where the big staircase is. Sadly, there are not only happy ghosts here at Benenden, and I am here tonight to tell you the story of someone who lived in the main house a long, long time ago. Hers is not a happy story. I hope it's okay to tell you the story. I don't want her to know that we're talking about her, in case she comes to visit us tonight. But tonight, let me tell you the story of Kitty Fisher. Sometimes you can still hear her screams. Today is a very special day in Benenden. This is the anniversary of the death of Kitty Fisher. Something terrible happened here 300 years ago. Kitty was a girl who lived in Benenden village. She was a girl just your age. She went to school in the village. She was a good student and a happy child, and everybody liked her. She was a great tennis player. She behaved perfectly on excursions, and she was an excellent dancer. Kitty loved to dance, and everyone that lived nearby knew how good a dancer she was. One day, she was asked to a dance at Benenden House, in the building that is now the school. In the room that is now the assembly hall, she met John Norris, the owner of Hempstead House here in Benenden, and they fell in love with each other. Just a few months afterwards, they were married in the village church. They loved each other dearly, and their first 4 months together were wonderful. But suddenly, and for no reason, something changed. Before, John had been a cheerful person, full of laughter and joy, but now he was angry, aggressive, and rude. Kitty just didn't know what to do. She tried everything to cheer her husband up, and nothing seemed to help. Kitty tried hard to make her husband laugh, but nothing worked. She tried to dance for him, but he wouldn't even look at her. Kitty felt so alone. But then, something wonderful happened for Kitty and John. At last, Kitty was pregnant. For a while, Kitty and John were happy again. But it couldn't last. John just couldn't get used to having a baby in the house. John tried to escape the noise and began to stay out all night. Kitty was left all alone with the baby, and the baby just wouldn't stop crying. She was so tired, so lonely and sad. She couldn't sleep properly. She was worried about her husband, and the baby just kept crying. Then, one dark and stormy night, something terrible happened at about 9 o'clock. The baby was scared by the sound of the wind and the storm, and wouldn't stop crying. Kitty went for a walk with her baby. She went to the big staircase in Hempstead House and tried to rock her baby to sleep, but he just kept crying. suddenly the big doors opened with a bang, and John Norris thundered into the room. When she saw him, Kitty gasped with shock, and little Joseph started to cry harder than before.
You! You never get anything right!
John, no. The baby's just scared. It's dark outside and it's stormy.
Shut that baby up!
John, no.
There was a moment of total silence. The only sounds to be heard were the raging storm outside and the sound of rain on the roof of the building. Kitty sank slowly to her knees at the top of the stairs. She was white in the face and shaking all over. Her hands were trembling. She couldn't believe what had just happened. Then John broke the silence.
You killed my son! For this! You'll pay for this!
Let me.
Once he had beaten his wife into silence, John dragged Kitty towards the fireplace at the bottom of the stairs. When she woke up, it was dark everywhere, and she didn't know where she was. Then she touched the walls that were on every side of her, and suddenly she knew. Her evil husband had walled her into the fireplace. Kitty screamed for days, begging for help, but nobody came to help. She died there 4 days later. And sometimes, on a night just like this, you can still hear her scream.